What's going on, everybody? My name is Marcus. Welcome back to another live stream. On this channel, I make reselling content and anything that's going to help new resellers shorten the learning curve. So if that seems like something that you're into, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you know when I drop another video or I go live. So what I do on Tuesday nights is I go live with a reseller that's either more seasoned than me or can just give away some gems to new resellers such as myself and help them learn something or learn from their mistakes so that their journey doesn't have to be such a struggle. So tonight's guest is Sonny Las Vegas. He's on TikTok and YouTube. Make sure you guys check him out, man. But without further ado, I'm gonna bring him in and let him introduce himself.
What is up, Marcus?
Hey,
Thank you for having me in here.
no
Happy to
problem,
be
man. Thanks for showing up, bro. I really appreciate it. So I noticed you changed your YouTube channel, like the name of it 2 days ago.
here. Yeah,
Was it-
I've been saying this when I started reselling that us resellers and everybody in general,
Mhm.
they say stick to a niche. So I was trying to do that. But me personally, I'm not just a thrifter. I like to
Right.
do graphic designs, photography. I'm a
Awesome.
family man. What's up, Shay?
Hey,
And
Shay.
I don't say that about me. I tell people out everywhere, even that I talk to. I'm like, we carry a lot of titles, and it
Right.
was always bothering me. And I liked it because people were used to it, and people would be like, "Hey," they wouldn't say the name Las Vegas Thrifts. They would say, "There's Sonny,"
Yeah.
and then it was kind of battling of like, who's that? Because you would
Right.
know who you're seeing, but other people who didn't know me wouldn't.
Of
So I was like,
course.
how do I make it easier to brand myself? And that's one thing I've been trying to do. And it's kind of like your intro.
Right.
Your intro here on YouTube is the same thing on TikTok, and
Yeah.
that's branding and that's a practice, and it helps just stay in your mind a little longer.
Right. Right. That makes sense. And yeah, that was one of the things. That's why I put it out there like that because that is trying to be the brand that
Mm.
I want people to know that I'm trying to help new resellers shorten the learning curve. So that's why it's the same here as it is there. And I actually started the TikTok to funnel traffic to my YouTube. So people that need it because TikTok's short form content, I can't really give too much value away on
Yeah.
TikTok. Although I mean I can, but that's why I'm trying to funnel people to my YouTube channel so I could
Yeah.
bless people and help people. Thanks for
Yeah.
showing up, Russell. Appreciate it. I think you just subbed to your channel too, Sonny.
Hey, thank you, Russell. Got Fisher
Uh,
Flips in here too.
Little Miss Q. Hey, buddy. Fisher Flips. Welcome to the chat. Appreciate you guys for showing up. I know I'm pretty lucky to have Sonny on because tonight my actual guest that I had to cancel on me. He works in an accounting firm, and anybody that knows anything knows that Q4 is a busy time of year for not
It is.
just us, but for companies all over the place. So my guy
It
couldn't
is.
make it tonight. So Sonny came through in the clutch, man. Definitely saved the show because it was just gonna be me up here rambling.
No, it really wasn't a clutch. It was like 3 minutes until like
Man, it was like
took
super
the
spare, dude. Like
photo.
I was making the thumbnail while I was on live with Dante and Katie. So I was like trying to get everything, crammed together while giving away. I auctioned off this Charmander Pokemon here. It's
Oh,
the
what?
it's the glitter one, dude. Like he's got glitter on him. Super
Where'd you auction
exclusive.
that off on?
I auctioned it off on Tay's channel on Person to Profit. I don't know if you could see it, but he's like shimmery, man.
Yeah.
Comps are going for like $70 on that guy.
Jeez, what'd
So
the auction go for?
just 30, 35, I think, but
That's
still,
cool.
I paid
Yeah.
$4 for it. Somebody, can make double their money off of it. So
Yeah.
there you go. Uh hey Miss Lachey, thanks for showing up. Just checking on for a few minutes. Nice to meet you, Sonny. So
Nice
yeah,
to meet you.
guys, Sonny is I gave Sonny a shout out on my video about YouTubers that are close to their monetization point and either need just a few more subscribers or maybe some watch time. I don't know what's your watch time looking like, bro.
Oh man, it's horrible. And it's not so
Really?
much like numbers are a funny thing on social media.
Hmm.
Like like you say you call on like seasoned people and more experienced people. But if people were to look at your numbers on sales on eBay, they would
Hmm.
say you're the seasoned person. Like it's incredible
Yeah.
what like, the numbers don't really tell the truth
Right.
of what people actually do, especially behind the curtains.
Right.
So it's a mutual thing. You said lucky for me to be on a show. I'm lucky to even be considered. That's how I see it. Like it
Right.
humbles
I
me,
hear you. That's a
even though
pretty
like
humble
I'm
attitude,
rich.
man. I can respect that.
So my
So,
watch hours are like just shy of 300. but my numbers
Really?
are growing. Yeah, and it's everything's like on eBay or whatever platform you're using or whatever goal you want to reach.
Mhm.
Like you just got to do what you know, and when you get to a plateau, like
Right.
just learn something, one more thing to get you over that hump, because
Right.
obstacles are going to come left and right. No matter what you do, no matter how good you are, no matter how perfect you list something or take a best
Of
photo,
course.
like that return's going to come back. A crazy
Yeah.
message, you know.
So how long have you been on YouTube?
I was on like 2 years. Actually, it goes back to like Hawaii. Back in Hawaii, I had a different channel. I don't remember the name or password or anything, so I couldn't get
Mhm.
on it. And what
Okay.
started me was my brothers out in Texas were like, "I want to see Hawaii," and I was like, "I'll fly you over." And they're like, "No, I don't want to fly. Can you do a video?"
Right.
And I was like YouTube, and they're like, "Yeah." So I started just recording, like vlogging, and
Cool.
then it wasn't really for anybody but my brothers and my family back home.
Yeah.
But then when I got here to Vegas, that's when I started learning about thrifting and reselling. So back
Right.
in 2016, 17,
Okay.
and that's when I started YouTube. But then about just a little over a year ago now, maybe a year now, that's when I got off because I got promoted at work and I was working my way up, and I
Mm.
ended up being an armed security guard and dealing
Nice.
with people. When I got home, I was tired,
Yeah, of
you know, and I
course.
was like, and the pay raise, I was like, this money's good. I don't need to thrift no more. But I had missed thrifting because I was like, if I have this money with this raise, I could make even
Mm.
more money. But I was
Right.
only doing it on weekends, so now I do it full time. I'm about to hit my fourth month, end of this month. So
Right.
2022 is
Yeah,
gonna be,
I know you had just went full time. So
yeah,
I went full time in October, October 6th. So you've been full time just a little longer than me. Do you
just a little
regret
bit.
it? Do
Do I
you regret it?
regret it?
Yeah.
No, not it. Like I love it. I do have family members and friends that are like, it's like they ask everybody how they're doing, and then when it comes to me, it's kind of like, if for example, it's like, hey Marcus, like how's your day going? You know,
Yeah.
like are you all right? Like why would I not be all right? I'm here, you
Yeah.
know?
Like,
Like I'm
do
okay.
you need anything?
Yeah, I probably got it.
Yeah. Are you eating? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
fine.
I
What's
was
up,
like,
Dana?
okay,
Thanks for showing
wait.
up, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. See, I didn't have any of that. Honestly, my circle's tiny. It's like non-existent. So, my family, they don't know what I do,
Mm,
because I don't really talk to them. Like my brothers, they know what I do. I have a twin brother. I tried to get him into it. I have an older brother. He's a year older than me. He knows what I do, and then I have a sister who's younger than me, and she's like off doing her thing. So as far as like family, I don't really tell anyone what I do.
mm.
But if I did, I feel like I would have their support. Do you have the support of your family? Like, is everybody
I
behind you
do got their
100%?
support,
That's
but
good.
my kinfolk back in Texas is like here in Vegas is more of my wife's side,
Okay.
and it's not so much like their her first cousins are like hesitant towards it. It's more of like the people that are friends of the family.
Right.
They're like, "Oh, hey, Sonny," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm probably not a brag, but for a split second, I will. Like, I probably make more than you doing less work. You know,
Right.
I get to be home, and that's my goal. Like, I
Right.
love being home. I like spending time here and not worrying about like my wife, you know, or anything because I get to see her all the time. I don't
Of
know if she
course.
feels the same way, but I do.
She's probably like, get out of the house.
She was the first couple of weeks until she
Yeah.
realized, and I kept having to show her numbers, you know, like, "This
Yeah.
is working,"
Numbers
you know?
don't lie, man.
They don't.
What's up, ATL Flippers? Derek and Jasmine. Thanks for showing up, guys.
Yeah, I
Um,
hope Eric's leg heals because he's running into stuff on his little scooter.
yeah. So for me, it's been definitely probably the most rewarding thing I could have ever done. Um, Before going to being a full timer, I was
Mhm.
listing probably about just 5 items a day. Um, now that you're full time, do you have a consistent listing habit? Like, do you try to aim for a certain number of
I
listings a day, or
I don't look at, so much as, like, the quantity of what I'm listing. I look at, like, the worth.
okay?
So, Tommy Bernhard, he has a great podcast show.
I know
I'm
he
pretty
is.
sure you follow him.
Yeah.
He said this several months ago, and it stuck in my head. You know, people say stuff and you run with it, and it tends to work. You know, but they got to have that kind of that voice that they're not BSing. And Tommy has
Right.
that definitely. So he said, if you list say $300 a day,
Hmm.
up 90 days, you're gonna start seeing $300 payouts every day.
Right. Right.
And I didn't get up to 90 days. I got up to like a little over 60 days, but by
Mhm.
then I was already seeing $300 every day.
Nice.
And then everything was going good until Thanksgiving came, family came, and I didn't want to be disrespectful
Of course.
to be like, "Hey, I'm in the garage, leave me alone. I'm taking photos." I was like, "No, I'm
Right,
gonna be
right.
here." So then, for a week, I wasn't listing nothing, but for every day that I wasn't listing, I was still selling items,
That's what's
just
up.
the same amount of value. So
So, do you have one category that you focus on more than any other?
not anymore. When I started full time, I was doing pretty good with apparel,
Mhm.
from jeans to jackets, anything apparel,
Right.
and shoes, sneaker wears. When I saw that everybody else was getting into it, slim picking started happening, and I
Yeah.
was like, What? I need to open up because I do have time, and I don't
Mhm.
want to waste it by sitting around complaining about what I can't
Right.
do because other people are in that area that I'm searching for. So I opened up to electronics and
Okay.
health like supplements, and it's helped because everything's a learning process, you
Of
know.
course. So, I know for me, I'm trying to scale right now. I went from somewhere around like 400 listings in October to I'm at 1,050 right now. How many
Jeez.
how many listings do you have?
Let me show you. I don't remember because I was taking some of my old stuff off. So I took off 97
Okay.
items and I'm at 309.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I mean, but it's probably 309 quality items too, though.
For the most part, yeah.
If
Like
you
I
took
still
off
have
97, I assume they were junk or not worth keeping on there.
some of them might be like I'm not gonna completely give up on them. And this is
Right.
what I kind of been doing. Like some of those items I use so when I'm busy, like today I wasn't able to list, but I'm gonna list some stuff.
Mhm.
Like I use that unsold items to
Right.
go back and sell similar.
Okay,
Keep
so
some
you do
photos.
the D-list, relist kind of
Yeah.
sort of thing. So see, I used to prescribe to that method of listing, and I swore by it because I would delist some things and I would relist them, and then they'd sell the same day. But
Crazy,
here
right? How that
it's
works?
crazy. It is, and my girlfriend does the same thing. But so here lately, man, within the last 3 months, really, I haven't delisted anything. I haven't
Yeah.
relisted anything. What I'll do is I'll just run a sale and I'll just slash the prices.
Mhm.
Um, and that seems to work for me as well. So what I'm trying to do now is just be more selective over the items that I pick up, but I'm also scaling with clothing. And I know like some people are just like clothing sucks. And yeah, I don't really enjoy clothing like I do treasure hunting, finding good,
Yeah,
items to flip. But at the same time, when I can go to the bins and get bags and bags of clothing that I know that there's no testing, no, all I gotta do is throw it in the washing machine,
yeah,
take some pictures and list it. I can scale that to the moon and back, you know what I mean? But I can't scale sneakers and electronics and stuff or spend, all this time. I bought 10 VCRs and DVD player combos in one day. And I spent the whole day testing them, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Whereas I could have been listing that day, So it's just more or less upon what I have in my area that I can scale. So what's probably the easiest thing for you to find when you go outsourcing?
Here in Vegas, I'm pretty lucky. Like now that my eyes are wide open,
Mhm.
I could find just about anything. It doesn't mean there's going to be a gem in every place that I
Of
search, but
course.
like it's pretty open to outdoor apparel to dress wear because it is the casino. A lot of people
Right.
dress up, suits, pants, like everything's here. I just have to apply myself to look for it
Yeah.
and then try to keep up with what I buy because that seems to be like the harder part.
So Angelo says clothing is too much potential for returns. I can agree with you there uh to a certain extent. So if you take proper measurements and try to do, everything that you can to
Mhm.
explain the size of the item, you generally won't have a lot of returns. But the thing is that I do find is the more volume of clothing I sell, the more returns I do get. So I just had 5 open returns, but only one of them was for clothing. One was for an HIV test, and the guy said literally in the comments, long story. It hadn't even arrived yet. I had literally just shipped it out and he wanted a refund. The other items were toys, so
Yeah.
I don't let the fact that I can get returns stop me from listing something because at the end of the day, when you're doing volume, you're gonna get returns. So I kind of suck it up as a part of doing business. All I
Yeah,
sell is clothing. My
I've
returns
been
are actually low. Okay.
clothing has like I my average until like holidays is where it kind of picks up on returns.
Yeah.
So probably like once every 9 months, I'll get a
Mhm.
return.
Really? That's
That's how,
really good, bro.
yeah, it's freaking awesome.
That's
And what
great.
I started doing with apparel, because at first I was more of like the novice, hurry up and throw up an item and say it's a
Yeah.
large. Then you start realizing like t-shirts are slim fit, loose fit,
Mhm.
relax. You start
That's part of
learning,
you learning your category too, though.
right?
So
And I add measurements. Like it doesn't
yeah,
take long. And I hear
no,
people say, "Oh, it takes long." Bro, if you
right.
come across a selvage jean and understand what a selvage jean is,
Hmm.
and it's from Japan and it's a quality name, you probably made $100 up to several $100s just for
Right.
taking that time to just feel something, taking a few seconds to look, and then going
Yep.
home and taking your time to just get some measurements. It's very easy. So
I agree. And once it becomes part of your listing habit, it's just another step. It doesn't even feel like it's
yeah,
anything extra, you know.
yeah,
Um Shay, I don't do you follow Shay on TikTok?
yeah, I do.
She kills it with the toys, man, definitely. And
And
Dana
that
says
he's a
that
fansaholic.
Dana says toys and electronics are his jam. Now I definitely know for a fact Dana is killing it with the toys and the electronics. Um, I don't know if you follow Dana Invest, but he's killing it with retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, and his cook group is just blessing him with bolo after bolo. Ah, but it keeps him so busy, man, that like he doesn't get the list on a daily basis sometimes. Which is a good problem to have, because sometimes you just list the items on Amazon, but I would only buy hats and t-shirts, sight unseen. Uh, I do well with hats. I don't really like exclusively look for t-shirts. So my clothing of choice is jeans. I find that I get a really good return on jeans, and there's just so many Levi's in my not my neighborhood, but in my bins that it's hard to not come up, man.
Yeah.
So um if you had one item that you had to sell forever, like your top choice, what would it be?
That's gonna be my answer was the Japanese denim jeans. If I could have a plug for that, that's
Yeah.
that's money. And people pay up for that all the time. It's just like your popular brand, your go-to, that's the way they
Mhm.
treat it. It's not so much of like it's expensive for me. I wouldn't buy
Mhm.
it. But there's
Right.
people out there that are like, that's their basic wear, like Levi's
Mhm.
are to us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, man.
what's up, Barry? Barry Humstone in the house.
What's up, Harry? How you doing, bud? Yeah, man. So for me, like when I first got started, it would have been sneakers, but sneakers take a lot of work, man, to clean, and sometimes it's just you go out for days on end in my small town and you don't find any sneakers.
Mhm.
Whereas I can always find some jeans, no matter even if I got to pay thrift store prices and pay up for them, I could still find jeans that are profitable.
Yeah, that was your reply to me on TikTok when I was saying I've never seen those jeans, and you're like,
Yeah.
I see them all the time.
Yeah, it's like farm country out here, man. So like some things are just in abundance, like Wrangler rigs, workwear. Like I sell those things for $25, $30 a pop, easy. And
Money.
I got 5 pairs of them at a yard sale, niche down to 80s Y2K clothing, hats, and sports clothing. So that's a pretty good niche right now, especially
That
because
is.
that's what's the vintage area is popping right now. Paul says Sonny is turning into Mr. YouTube. He's everywhere. Hey, Sonny's he's killing it on TikTok too, man. Like that's where I found you at, man. And
Yeah.
I was talking to my girlfriend about the easel you found in the thrift store. And I was like, babe,
Yeah.
look, let me just show you it. Because this wall right here, this
Yeah.
board, this is it's a plywood board, and I was like, I'm trying to get something like my boy on TikTok's got, you know what I mean? And I was trying to, easel it up like you, man, but
Because you had to get a bigger board, right? The one you
I
had
did have to
before
get
where
a
that
bigger
jacket was
board.
too small. Yeah.
Yep. So this one is 4x6, where the first one was 4x4. So
Yeah.
it was wide enough, but men's pants would hang off the edge of it, and I didn't want the table shown. So now I just have this board leaning up against the wall and it's not on a stand. But I like how yours you could turn sideways, you could do your clothing sideways on
Yeah.
it. But I need some of that material you got, that
That's
fabric.
it's called like fabric utility material, but it's really
Yeah.
just felt. Just go inside your fabric stores and say, hey, do you have any white felt? And it's
Okay.
pretty cheap. The one I got was like probably by 7x7 maybe, or 7x4, and it was like $11 and change. Very cheap.
Okay. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Uh,
Angelo said he has to try on jeans and shoes and pants before buying. A lot of people are like that, man, but Man, I ain't grown in years, so I know I'm an 8.5 in shoes. I know I'm a 32 in pants, and generally across all categories, I can fit those. So, except
I've
for
grown
if it's like
slightly.
Nike Blazers are pretty narrow. I got to get a 9. Paul says, "Hey to Harry." Harry says, "Hey to Paul." Uh, yeah, man. I know. Oh, sorry. I know that. Being out there in your area, it's pretty warm all year round. So, do you ever hit the flea markets?
I haven't been in a while, and the times I have gone, I didn't find anything like worth buying.
Really?
Like the prices were kind of high. It's like there's a lot of other resellers here, and
Hmm.
even at like the flea markets are like reseller prices that we would sell
Really?
as
So it's like
people say
market
brick
value?
and mortar, those private messages. Yeah,
Mm.
it's very rare that I come across anything, so I kind of gave up on it. But I've been meaning to go.
Hmm.
There's also a few like indoor swap meets
Yeah.
that I've gone to before. It's just that I'm trying to still figure out what I want to do, like here to get a schedule to get things going,
Of
and on
course.
YouTube. I want to do what I used to do, what you're doing now.
Hmm.
Interview people and just share like people that I feel like I'm interested in, and
Hmm.
there's more to it that I'm not seeing, and I hope that they would want to share it so I could share it
Right.
with other people. To just exposure and nothing for me to grow off of, but for that person to be like, hey, like,
Yeah.
see what I see, and I may sound like a repeat when I say that because of the other people have asked me, but I've been saying this for years, and I used to do it, and I had
Hmm.
every intention before moving from Hawaii to here to do it, but at the
Right.
last minute, my wife was like, "Hey, do you wanna go to Vegas?" And I was like, "When?" She was like, "Now." So 4 days after she
Nice.
asked me that, I just flew over here
Yeah.
and then, had some stuff stolen, my photography equipment, and
Oh man, sorry to hear
yeah.
that.
So that put me on a standstill, which really had me go to a job to say, "Hey, I need something," and that's how eBay started, to
Right.
where I started using eBay to fund projects for the equipment that was stolen
Hmm.
and also start using it. So I have equipment now, I just haven't applied it because, even though I've been reselling 4 months, I'm not trying to push my family to the side, you know?
I hear you because
Yeah,
it's definitely a grind for
yeah.
sure. What's up, AR? Thanks for showing up, bro. Appreciate it. Um,
Dude, he's about to start his live shows too with Krillin.
yeah, church sales are the best. That's for sure. Hey, Evan, what's up, man? Flippy McFlipperson. He's got a lot of content that first of all, like his editing is
Yeah,
next to none, man. Like, but the content is it's like real educational based as far as why he picks up what he picks up, and I really feel like I learned a lot from his channel. And I think when I started watching him, he had like 500 subscribers, so it's nice to see how far he's came. Hey, Art Vanderlei, what's up, Dan, man? Appreciate you showing up, bro. So yeah, man, Flippy does the best edits. Yes, he is, man. Like super talented individual, man. Like for real. I just don't really understand how you're still struggling to get the watch time, man, because I watch them videos from beginning to end.
yeah,
Um, so like you said you have 300 watch hours.
yeah.
That's crazy, man. Like
Well, I just
I
started like reselling full time, and it's like I didn't know what to really do when I came back. I was like, let me just start on a video and go from there. And to be
right.
honest, videos I was sharing, I was like, I was into it and I want to share it, but I
Mhm.
also was like, more than anything, was like, I just need to put something on there, and it sounds horrible, but I was like, I
Mhm.
just need to start getting that rust off, and the wheels start turning.
Right.
And even Paul on here has been saying like you're opening up on YouTube. You're starting to
Yeah.
relax. Because where I came from in the security world, like you stand there like a statue and you talk to
Right.
people stern. And I was like, I've been easing away and knocking that off
Yeah.
to just be a little bit more like light on my feet.
You gotta let your personality show. Yeah, and that's one of the things the ATL flipper told me. He's like, man, just be yourself, man, and throw a little comedy in there from time to time and just let yourself be you, and let the people
Yeah,
get to know who you really are. And once you do start letting down those walls and letting the barriers fall down, man, you do get more comfortable, and
yeah,
you do notice that people they'll even point it out and they'll comment on it and say you're getting more comfortable, just like they're
yeah.
telling you. Daniel, hey, what's going on, man? Appreciate you for showing up, bro. So, if you guys haven't, if you guys haven't watched my last video, I really recommend you go watch it. Sonny's one of the channels I mentioned on there, and there's 4 other channels on there.
Yeah, I gotta
Um,
do a shout out to 5 other people.
yeah, Daniel does too. Don't be backing out of the challenge, bro. Yeah, Bobby the Cap guy put me on that challenge, so I had to put everyone else on it. Be yourself. It's the most oversaid thing, but it's the truth. Of
Yeah,
course, man, because if you aren't yourself, people are gonna notice it, man. Like real recognize real. And if eventually if you try to fake it till you make it, your real colors are gonna show, and then they're gonna be like, who is this dude? Like this isn't
yeah.
who we subscribe to, because you're putting on and being somebody you're not, and nobody wants to see that. They are a great live Sunday. So what I know you recently new to the full time.
Hmm.
What is one piece of advice that you would give someone starting reselling today? Like if you were to tell your best friend how to start reselling, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to really look at comps, even if it's just one item.
Hmm.
Because when I first started, I was seeing something not knowing what comps were. I'd see a listing of it and it would be like $50. I get
Right.
home and I realize like it's sitting there.
Yeah.
Then after time, I learned what actually comps are, looking at the sold listing, and it's like sold for $5.
Right.
Like, what was the difference? So little things like that. Like as crazy as it sounds, like I learned a lot of stuff on my own on eBay to where I didn't even know you could make labels on eBay. I was
Yeah.
going in line to the post office.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, it's like, and
Yeah.
one day this lady, I kept seeing her every time, same person, just bags of stuff,
Yeah.
walking up to the front, dumping them, and I finally just built up the courage to ask her because I don't like to bother people, and
Right.
I don't like people bothering me. So I guess it's stubbornness too. So when I finally asked her, she was like, "Oh, I just make them on eBay," and I'm like, "What?" So I go on
What?
YouTube and I'm like, "How do you make labels on eBay?" I'm like,
Right.
"Man, I feel so dumb," but it's really like you don't know what you know until you get it done because there's nothing that says like you
Yep.
see a highlight, but you don't know what to do and you're afraid to click it. You're kind of like a caveman.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to press something, have to
You
buy
don't want to
something.
mess something up, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Angelo says I follow all resellers because I learned something from everyone. Nobody knows everything in this biz, and that's true.
No, nobody
Once you
does.
stop learning, man, you're dead. Fisher Flip said I stopped watching a lot of resellers because of the fakeness.
Yeah.
I don't blame you, bro. Derek said I would tell someone new to look at the sell through rate. That's probably the biggest thing. Not only do you want to look at what the items are actually selling for, not what someone has them listed for,
Mhm.
but especially when you're first getting started, I feel like it's a big thing to make sure it's going to sell quick. Because if you only got $100, you don't want that $100 tied up in items waiting to sell. You want them to
Yeah.
be able to sell so you can get to reinvesting your capital.
Yeah.
AR said, "Thanks,
I
Paul.
completely
Appreciate
agree.
it, man." Yeah, man. So I used to do the same thing you did. Honestly, I'd go to the thrift store and I'd scan something and I'd see $100 sold or $100 listing price without even knowing what sold comps were at the time, and really it's only selling for $5 once a year. You know what I mean?
If
Then I
that.
got like 10 of these items because I got greedy, and I was just going through my storage yesterday, pulling items that I'm getting ready to redonate that I first bought when I got started a year ago, because they're just not going nowhere. They'll never sell. They're just, weren't good pickups.
Mhm.
What's your worst pickup, man?
I was just thinking about it earlier. A good thing it wasn't expensive, but I ended up seeing them at Ross. They're like little bitty Fisher blades. I got them
Mhm.
for like 69 cents. I ended up getting like 21 of them.
Yeah.
And the only thing about these particular things, I think why they don't sell is because some brands don't have really good names to advertise, and it's kind of
Mhm.
like throws the search engine off. Like
Right.
things from them sell, but this particular thing it was just bad. And that's another thing that I've learned. If it's a crazy name and you have something that's worth it, you really have to understand how you're going to word it and
Right.
not just have the basic information on there.
Yeah. That's one of the things I've learned from Rachel Strickland. She really talks about keywords, like especially for like something unbranded. Like she sold this weird, random, glittery looking purse, and she explained some of the keywords that she would use to get it searchable in the search for this weird, random, unbranded item. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I was like, well, that gets me to thinking on not only what's trending as far as how to sell something, but what people would be looking for, like how they would actually type it in the order of the words that they type it in. And sometimes you might have a good item. Maybe the brand is searchable, but the item, if you don't word it the right way, can get pushed down in search. So you do kind of want to ride the wave of the brands and the advertisement
Yeah.
they put out, but you also want to know how to word it too. I was telling people in mine yesterday to check that replay. Some great combo in it. And what, you're live yesterday? AR says, I got a 1968 Tar Heel yearbook, been sitting for a year, but I mind it be. Man, some people have great luck with yearbooks, man. I've never picked one up, but
On
you know,
on the
it's,
flip on
uh,
the flip side of keywords, right? What
yeah,
I'm learning too is that we learned this new like language to talk, right?
right.
Reseller language because of titles and descriptions. That when I started looking for stuff, say on OfferUp, I was
Hmm.
trying to find like the old little TVs, the vintage ones, and
Right.
I was
The
putting in the
gaming
exact words
TVs.
that they should be.
Yeah,
And then something dawned on me to say, like, maybe the person that has it doesn't realize it, and
yeah,
they're just saying old little TV. So I
right.
just typed it in, little old
It popped up.
square TV. Yeah, and it popped up, and this lady
Yeah,
had it for $9. A
nice.
Sony Trinitron little DVD player
Mhm.
TV. That's probably like $300. Got it for
Wow.
$9. Yeah.
That's crazy. So, and then some, it just kills me that some of the stuff that people don't even understand, like the value of what they have. So I got one of those little TVs, but it was a DVD player TV, and the lady was selling it for $15, and I tested it at her yard sale. I sold that thing for $120, man. I was like, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Remote and everything. It still had the instruction manual in the plastic bag it came with.
She
Well,
was a nice old lady, and when I got it, I was like, you know how much these are worth, right? And she was like, I just need space. So rather than just giving her the $9, like I tried to give her 20, she wouldn't take it.
yeah,
So she just wanted 9 because she said that's what she asked for. But I ended up helping her for like a good 5 minutes, throwing trash out to the front
right.
yard. So I was like, all right,
So
that's
you
my
still
payday.
did her justice. Right, there you go. Paul says some of the Dollar Tree stuff isn't worth what is or isn't what it's cracked up to be, low margins and horrible sell through rate. Yeah, man, unless you're like Daniel the selling sniper and selling dollar store candy on Amazon, it's really not worth it, man, honestly. They are like a UNC Tar Heel yearbook.
Dan's into it. He wants it.
Trin Trinitron is gold. Nice find.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. There's certain things like Marantz, and what else? What else is another good electronic brand? I can't
I
remember the
think
name of
the
it right
other
now.
little TV I have, it might be an Emerson or some other old one, but I got that one for $6 at the Goodwill. And the
Mhm,
people were looking at me, the older people. So my first vintage item I found was happened to be because of the way the old people were
mhm.
looking at this instrument, and
Right.
they were saying like this is old, and they're walking with canes and walkers right by it, and they're like, I don't want that, that's old. And I'm like, if
Yeah.
that's old to them, I need to look at it. I ended up looking
Right.
at it. It was $50 for a clarinet. Come to find out, after getting it appraised as is, it was worth $1,400.
Wow.
Yeah, I sold it within like the next day, $1,400 on eBay, $50 shipping because it was
That's
pretty good
crazy.
size, and I got an
Man,
offer for 1350.
I found a saxophone, $75 at the thrift store. I don't know anything about instruments, period. But I do know that I had a friend that sold her clarinet to a pawn shop for just $400 on, on pawn, and they were like, it's worth 1,400. You don't want more than 400. She's like, I need it to be something that I can come get back out. So I knew
Uh,
that there was value in
yeah.
instruments. So when I seen this saxophone sitting there for $75, I was like, well, let me look this thing up. And then I looked it up in 4 parts only. It was going for $400. And I think I sold it for $500 like within a couple days. So there's great money in instruments.
Well,
Jeff
that
says
that's
I
the
keep.
thing with value too, and you kind of said it if you didn't catch it. Like she wanted to turn it in for 400, something that could help her for whatever reason, and
Mhm,
be able to afford to buy it back.
to get it
When
back.
people
Yeah.
buy stuff, that value for them is different than just a number.
Right.
I just had somebody for like a little plush piglet that I got for a couple of bucks. She got
Mhm,
it in an auction for like 19. Um, I think it was like her and somebody else that was trying to buy it, and she
right.
private messaged me. She said, "Hey, I'm gonna buy this and I'm gonna win it. I'm gonna stay up until it's done." And I'm like, "Okay." So she
Yeah.
messaged again saying, "I had one just like this when I was a kid, and it got
Mm,
lost, and you're the only one I've seen with it, and
yeah.
I'm gonna win this." And I was like, "All right,
So it's like nostalgic, like for her,
yeah."
brought
So
back
the value is
memories.
different, sentimental
Yeah,
and penny wise.
of course. Jeff says he tries to keep an eye out for prison TVs. I've heard that prison TVs can be valuable, but coming from a guy that's been in prison, those TVs suck. really bad. But if you get the old box ones, those are the ones that are actually worth something. The new TVs, the flat screens, those are not worth anything. They're like $10 TVs, man. Depends. At the Flippin' Sports Guy, I took the advice of Walter Blake Knobloch and sold 3 packs of Pixie sticks for $15.95. Really? We're on
Oh,
eBay or on Amazon? Bose. That's the one. Harman Kardon.
mm,
Harman Kardon. I'll sell remotes from them for like $50. It's
nice.
crazy. At Art 1995 JM Alexander Middle School yearbook,
Mm.
Huntersville, North Carolina. I think the high school yearbooks are worth more than the middle school yearbooks from what I've been seeing. Hey, Lance Shark Picker, what's going on, brother?
So great.
I'm an Army CO.
Commissioned officer. What rank?
Fast, fast
Oh,
tech.
that's the spam.
That's spam.
Yeah.
Get him out of here.
Throw some
Bad luck
people
to
some
bring
wrenches and
anything.
they could help out, hopefully. Block those.
Uh and I gave some people wrenches. I don't think anybody that's actually got a wrench is in here. Corrections officer.
Mm.
Yeah, man. So then you know that the TVs that they have now suck. Um, Bad luck to bring anything home from prison. I didn't bring nothing home. I left everything there because they say if you bring anything home with you or if you look back at it when you're driving away, you're gonna come back. And I'm not trying to ever go back. I've given my life to Christ, so I don't really have a fear of me doing anything to go back. But
Mm.
before, when I was a knucklehead, yeah, I don't know what I couldn't really guarantee that I wouldn't for military prison. Okay, still, man, prison is prison.
Yeah.
You mess up, you get in trouble. Thanks,
Even
Angela.
if you're a
Appreciate it.
correction officer, you're still in prison with prison.
Right,
I was a knucklehead too when I got in, and that's kind of like why I joined the military. I started maturing a little bit to where it's like if I keep doing bad stuff, it's not just me, it could hurt.
right,
Like people could come after you, and if they're gonna hurt you, if they wanted to, if they're like that, they're
yep,
gonna go for the people that will have you feeling hurt,
hmm,
losing them or seeing them
yep,
hurt. So I
yep.
really started growing up that way.
What's going on, Ty? Appreciate you showing up, bro. Yeah, man. And then like also another thing is when you're locked up, your family's got to suffer through that with you, and then you're married, right? So
Yeah.
you're not gonna want your wife to be out
No.
here alone with
No, she's
without
stuck
you.
with me.
Yeah,
If she's gonna suffer, she's gonna suffer with me beside her.
yeah. So that's no way to do it. So it's just best to just not even be a knucklehead. So that's one of the things I feel like reselling, man. Reselling has saved me from my old way of life because you know, it's financial. I wouldn't say it's financial independence at the moment. Like, yeah, it is the way I pay all my bills, but it's freeing to know that if I just work a little bit harder and I just keep, staying persistent and consistent with my listing habit, it's going to pay off. So, like you said, you list $300. Eventually, you start making $300 a day.
Yeah,
That's one of the
yeah.
things people need to realize. If you're waiting to get started in this reselling, don't wait any longer, man. Like
No,
everyone's doing it. This is the time.
that goes for anything you want to do, not just reselling. If you want to go to school, if you want to,
Hmm.
learn a new skill trade, like if you're trying to get promoted, don't just sit back and say, oh, it only takes time and I'm just going to
Right.
wait till people quit. Like you really got to show your face in there and
Yep.
put your foot forward and really be professional about it and hold yourself accountable. Because when it
Exactly.
comes down to it, like what I like about reselling is that I can't go and be like, my boss is the one why I can't get more sales,
Right.
or boohoo me. Like I love that aspect that I'm the one that's in charge of
Yep.
me. And if anything gets messed up, it's my fault, which I'm not gonna let that happen. Like
Of
it's really
course.
motivating too. And I'm not stressed about it. Like I really enjoy that feeling of I'm the man for once and I don't have to answer to nobody and
Yep.
there's basic rules to follow. And if you want to learn more, like you're only gonna grow from it.
Yep. That's one of the things like Jeff mentioned, the daily refining. I don't know if you watch Daily Refinement YouTube
Yeah.
channel.
I've been
I've
following him for
been
some time.
I figure you had, but that's one of the things that I like about his channel is it's always about getting a little bit better each day, taking micro steps into
Mm.
the bigger scheme of things. So as long as you are, sticking with it, man, and putting forth the due diligence, it's going to pay off. You might not see it immediately, but
Yeah.
like for me, before I went full time, my 90-day total was at like $5,000, $6,000, and now it's at like 23. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to 30K by the end of the year. I only got a few days left, man. I don't know if it's
But
going to
it's
happen,
possible though. You know what I
but
mean?
still, I never thought I'd be sitting at 23,000 in
I
90
was just
days
gonna
either.
ask you that. When you started, did you even see that, you know?
No, not at
And
all. And I know next year is going to be a big year. I just man, I'm anxious for it. I'm ready for it. I'm trying to just enjoy the ride as I go along, man, cuz it's definitely thrilling, man, to do this and see those payouts come every week, man. It's like, wow, man, I did that.
soon you're gonna get bored of like $1,000 payout days, you know, and you're like, I need to get that $5,000 payout. Like
That would
that's
be
the fun
nice.
part about it, that you grow. And
Hmm.
it may sound bad that you're like, dude, some people will die for $100, you know?
Right.
Like to get that, I remember my first buy was like $2.50. And even
Hmm.
then I was like tight on money. I was broke as hell, just moved here, no job,
Yep.
got into reselling, like I said. And when I came across another item for $5, like man, I
Mhm.
was looking at that $5 hard. Like, is this thing
Yeah.
gonna sell? Because this is all I have.
Right.
And then
Hey, trust
years
trust me, man. I understand.
years
And so
later,
like,
I'm like, man, it feels so good. And I pat myself on the back and I just try to show forth like through my content or even talking to people in general. You
yeah.
know, like if they say anything and if I run into them consistently, like I check them in a good way. Like, hey, Marcus, like you're talking about that goal. Like, how's it working
Mhm.
out, man? Like, and I don't say, do you need help? I see what they say and then I'll
Mhm.
kind of throw suggestions, but I don't want to.
Right.
I stopped asking people like, "Hey, if you need help, reach out to me."
Right.
You know, because answers are there. You have to. For me, I've learned when you ask for help, you've had to exhaust every effort.
Right.
Where you don't know what to do next, and you're like, "Hey, Marcus, I don't know what to do. Like, what do you think I should do?" You know, that's when you start asking for help.
Right.
When you've done your entire part.
Mhm. And so like since I've been following your TikTok, I see I mean like TikTok's full of haters and naysayers anyway.
Yo,
You know what I mean?
yes, there is.
It's crazy like how somebody will just want to just put you down, man, for sin, and they could easily do the same thing. But I've come to take the good with the bad. So I've
Mhm.
learned a lot from TikTok and I've learned a lot from YouTube, and that's what I'm going to use the platforms for, because there's so much knowledge out there, bro. And if you're willing to learn and just put forth the effort, you can learn everything you need to just by following the right people and actually listening and then putting forth the effort to do what they're telling you to do.
Mhm.
Um, it's crazy, man. I've only been doing this stuff for a year, and never would I have thought that I was be getting $1,000 payouts. You know what I mean? Like, every week. My first payout from eBay, not like my first daily payout, but my first weekly payout from eBay was like $150.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah, man, I made $150 on
Hell yeah.
eBay in a week. Now my payout today was $1,500. And
Nice.
that's not great, but that's not bad either. Like I used to
Not
work
bad at
at
all. I
Golden, I
mean,
used
if you
to
don't
work at
like it, you
Golden
can put it
Corral,
this
dude.
way: cash at me quick.
Right, right. But I would work 2 weeks at my old job for a
Yeah.
paycheck like that, and I made that in a week. So it's really freeing to be able to do this stuff. But man, the sky's the limit, bro, and that's where I'm trying to go with it. So, and that's why I started my channel, because I want people that come from the same sketchy background as I do. They have like that checkered past, and just be able to know that there is a way, man. You don't
Yeah.
have to stay in that form of thinking or that lifestyle or whatever, man. Don't be defined by your past, man. Just
No.
put your best foot forward and go scan some stuff and go resell some junk, man, and get
Yeah.
paid. Yeah, man. Let's see. Congrats. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, bro. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, life is about decisions and challenges, and I feel like you grow a lot of character from the challenges you face. Um, what's been your best flip in this whole reselling journey so far?
I had several, but my recent one was a pretty fast one. It was a $14 it was a receiver, a Sony receiver,
Mhm.
and this other guy was in front of me at Goodwill. He was checking it out, and he was just like, "Oh, they just changed the ticket on it." And I was like, what do you mean they changed the ticket? He was like, well, the new guy here put it for $7. And I was like, you should have grabbed it. He was like, well, the older workers are following him. They're getting everything he's getting because he has his solo prices.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, if it's just him being new and trying to be reasonable, you know.
Mhm.
So they snagged it, put $14 on it. So that put $14 on it, and he didn't want it for that reason. And I was like, that's like probably $150, $200
Right.
receiver, right? And he was like,
Right.
I don't want it because they changed the sticker. I swooped it up, man.
That's
It
crazy.
just sold yesterday. It took me 30 minutes to pack, but
Yeah.
and I was
How much
lucky
did
it
you
just
sell
went to
it for?
Arizona. Yeah.
How much you sell it for?
170 and then
See,
$30
14
shipping.
bucks into
Yeah.
170.
14
That's
bucks.
crazy. Yeah, man. What's up, Philly Picker? Thanks for showing up, bro. Appreciate it.
What's up, Paul?
I found it was a Sony. It was a CD DVD recorder. I paid $2 for it because it didn't have a remote. The guy had a $10 price tag on it at a yard sale. And I was like, do you have the remote anywhere? And he's like, you know what? Just give me $2 for it. And I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, just $2. You can go get a universal remote. I was like, all right. So I listed it and it sold like in not even an hour for $120 plus shipping. And I was just like, wow, man, that's crazy. It's just unreal some of the things that people are willing to get rid of that we can sell for the profits that we sell.
And that's what I like about garage sales. And I was late to the garage sale party.
Mhm.
Um, just because I was like so used to going to thrift stores, when I got out, I
Yeah,
was like thrift store, because you hear it too in your head. It's like branding as well, thrift
right.
store. So I was going to it, and then not towards the end, I'm like, I really need to go to these garage sales. Like they're right next door to me,
Yeah,
like stop being a
and it's
knucklehead. So I
cheaper.
started going, and people let go of stuff because they want to clear house. So it got me thinking of like spring cleaning. People
Yeah,
start throwing that stuff out, and they really do. It's like it's out there for people. Hey, spring cleaning, clear out your stuff. Yes,
right.
clear it out. I'll be there.
Yeah, definitely. I'm that guy. Yeah, man. So like this was my first yard sale season. Like obviously I've gone to yard sales before, just looking for stuff, and I would never find anything, like for myself. But as a reseller, man, it's a whole different ball game. Like, and this is my first everything reseller related. But this first yard sale season, man, taught me a lot, and I'm already ready for next yard sale season because I know there's things
Me
that
too.
I see other resellers and other YouTubers do that I didn't do that I wish I would have done, especially the bundling, like bundling more items. I didn't start bundling until the end of the yard sale season. So I missed out on a whole plethora of items at good prices.
Mhm. Philly Flipper in here, Paul. He had auctions, and I was watching his recent auction video, and I like seeing these videos, but it's stuff. I guess I'm slow, man, because after a while it dawns on me like,
Mhm.
why am I not doing the same thing? Like
Right.
they're finding good stuff. I'm not gonna find the same stuff, but I'm gonna find some good deals,
Of
and I
course.
just need to not be so like scared. In a way, I'm like a hermit. Like I like to stay within my own bubble. And
Mhm.
after a while, I was like, okay, I'll step out of it. It's like going to a restaurant. No matter where you go to, you try to find the same thing.
Right.
When you shouldn't, it's a different restaurant and get
Just try
something
something
different.
different.
Yeah,
Yep. Same, Marcus. I learned so much this year in my first garage season. I can't wait for next year. And then,
me
like,
too.
you see people like, Commonwealth Flipper, like some of those bulk buyouts that he does. Like, he gets hundreds of items for cents on, the dollar, and he's making thousands and thousands of bucks off of this one bulk buyout months later. And I'm just like, man, I should have been doing that. Like, I've I've only made one like really nice buyout. I went to a yard sale. The guy had like a laundry basket full of Carhartt pants, like all black Carhartt pants. He wanted $5 a piece on them. I was like, what do you do if I take the whole basket? He's like, just give me $30. So 18 pairs of Carhartts for 30
Jeez.
bucks. And I bought them all, and I made a ton of money off it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But as far as me finding continual buyout options like that, I found some YSL opium like samples, the little testers,
Yeah.
cologne or perfume or whatever. I bought a bunch of those. The lady wanted a quarter a piece,
Jeez.
for these things. I just sold 6 of them for $39.
Yeah.
Like, other than that, like I haven't really found too many great buyout like options. I did meet a bulk buyout guy with clothing, at a flea market. He had a table, and I was looking at a couple of items. I was like, "Do you mind if I scan some stuff or like look some things up? Because I'm gonna buy a lot if it's worth it." He's like, "Man, I got a whole van over here. I'll just sell you a couple of bags." I was
And the
like,
van.
"All right, cool." And he's like, "I'm like, can I get your number? Can we do this, more often?" He's like, "Yeah, I buy out storage units. I have clothes all the time." I'm on like my third buyout from that guy already, but hundreds
That's
of
a
items, man, just from asking to scan some stuff.
Yeah, that's another thing I learned is to ask, like, hey, you got more stuff? Do you come across stuff like this?
Right.
Because you could kind of come across like you could tell when somebody has particular things
Hmm.
and you're like, do you get this stuff often? And then usually that they kind of know, like, I think he might be a seller or a buyer. And
Right.
that's what I've run into recently is hopefully this guy is like a golden goose in a way to where it keeps I could keep
A
going to him
gift
for
that keeps
things.
on giving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's a little anxious, even though he
Mhm.
tries to make it sound like he's been in the game for 10 years. He's told me that, but maybe
Yeah.
it's just his personality. And it's
Right.
like every day I got more stuff, Sonny, you want to buy it? And I'm like, hey, hold on, man. Like I'll
Yeah.
reach out for you in a few days.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
appreciate it, but at the same time, I was like, it's a little pushy.
Right. And then like I can understand if it's the agreement, like whenever you have stuff, hit me up, I'll buy it all
Yeah,
regardless. But if it's like I'll hit you up when I'm ready, sort of thing, don't force it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because especially when you're trying to get that capital up, like like if I hired someone to go pick for me, it'd be a different story, man. But you know,
Is that one of
um,
your goals?
it
Have
is.
pick for you?
It definitely is. I would like to get probably two people to pick for me. And just be able to bring me whatever, as much stuff as they can, because right now I'm listing 100 items a week, and it takes me at least a day or two to pick 100 good quality items. I have to
Mhm.
go to 2 sessions at the bins. That's a whole day
Yeah, you
out of
go
my.
often.
Yeah, I go like twice a week. You know what I
I
mean?
remember some of your rant. I think it was good where they're like, look, this lady came over here like 8 times,
Yeah,
and they ain't putting nothing out. What are they doing
yeah,
with it? I want to
yeah,
know.
man.
I was like,
It's
I
crazy,
do
man.
too. Like, what are they doing with it?
I don't get it, man. Because like, and it's like that every time, like that. And that Goodwill's right next to my church. Like somebody said, I was stalking the Goodwill. I just park in the furthest spot away from whatever door I'm going
Yeah,
in, so I could walk to it.
yeah,
And the parking spot I park at is right there. And
yeah,
all these trucks are coming up, all these cars filling up these donation bins, and there's never anything in there. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just go to the bins and find it. That's where it's at. Great on car. There's more than one way to make money from thrift stores, garage and estate sales, online auctions, etc. I have a pickup truck, have my business cards all over town, and make $40 to $120 per
yeah.
delivery.
Angelo's been saying that, and it's really stuck in my head because I wouldn't mind making 100 quick bucks.
Yeah,
Maybe even more on tips.
right, right.
Uh,
And I know that who was it? I think it was what's his name? I can't think of it right now. Danny. His name's Danny. He's from Ohio. I can't think of his name right now. Pickle Resellers. He says he has a clean out business. And he was like doing a lot of bulk buyouts and things like that. But he says since he started the clean out business, he's got hundreds of thousands of items in inventory because people are just hiring him to come clean everything out, and he'll pick the good stuff out, pay his two guys $100 an hour to clean the rest of it up. They keep what they want, and then they flip everything else. And I can
yeah.
only imagine the money that he's making through that type of stuff.
Yeah, Harry Humstone, if he's still in there, that's what he does. I don't know if he still does, but he was
I have
like
this
a month
hoarder
ago. He
lady that calls me once a month, and I'm able to grab everything for $2 a piece. That's crazy. That's super cheap. Hey, back piece. Uh, Hello, thanks, Paul. Saw it coming, to be honest, as soon as they were starting the holiday break early. Heard it's cold up there, buddy. Nice. Yeah, man. It's cold down here in Missouri, man. You're out there. I mean, I know you got a beanie on right now, but it can't be that cold out there in Vegas, is it?
Because I didn't want to comb my hair. Let me see
Man,
how
look, I'm the same way, bro. I keep a hat on at all times.
44.
So like, huh?
It's 44.
44. I don't know what it is here, man, but I know it's cold this morning. There was frost on the ground. It's 52 here. How's it colder there than it is in Missouri?
Later rhythms. Take it easy. Thank you for stopping by.
No, that's not right. It's 43 here. I had to refresh it.
You're like, that's not right.
It was 243. It's not 243 anymore. Yeah, man. So we're coming close to the end of the show. I only stay on for about an hour. Um You got anything you want to tell anybody? Promote what's coming up on your channel? I know you said you're going to
You know,
start doing
if you're
live.
a reseller or whatever you're doing, just stay focused. You know, you're gonna hit a wall every now and then,
Yeah,
and you're gonna be scared, you know, to not continue and go back to what you know is
what's
easy. But
safe?
easy could be your crutch, you know,
Yeah,
from and it could keep you from learning and growing and making more for yourself to help out you and your family or whatever you
right.
got going on. And regardless of all the negative people, like just know there's people like Marcus here and myself and other people here inside the chat. Like they don't
Yeah,
come to the chat for nothing. You know, you got a community here at your fingertips to
right.
where if you really need help and Fisher flips, you know, ask like, how do you do this on TikTok? Like, I want to get started. I was like, just be yourself,
Yeah,
you know, just share content and it's all you got to do, really. You know, it's simple. It's just hard to get out of our shells, out
yeah.
of our shell to really just do anything. And it helps.
And I know I kind of agree with you, especially on the TikTok thing, because when I first got on TikTok, like my first couple of TikToks, like I was putting on, you know what I mean? I was like being extra, and then like
Because you don't know, you know,
I
until
don't know,
you're like,
and I
wait,
don't
wait,
know, but then
self
like the,
reflect.
the ones where I'm just myself and I'm just basic, like just putting out the content or putting out the value, like they're getting thousands and thousands of views, and I'm like, I didn't have to show my face, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, man, you don't have to do all this extra stuff. Just be yourself, man, because at the end of the day, it's what you're saying, it's what the content is delivering that matters to people, and if they're getting value out of it, they're going to come back
Yeah.
regardless. And that's powerful too. What you said about don't be scared to do it, because before, when COVID first popped off and people were getting laid off left and right, everybody was like, oh, I need my unemployment because my job this, my job. And I was like literally quitting my job because I was like, I can't keep living under this cushion of
Mm.
this salary paying job, and never reach my full potential. And if
Mm.
I'd have still been there at this job right now, dude, I would have never even started reselling and
Mm.
be in this mind frame that I'm in, dude. Like, I've come a long way in the last year, all from jumping off that, cliff and facing fear, punching in the face, and just going for it. You know what I mean?
Got to. 2022 is going to be a whole different story for a lot of us,
Man,
you know?
yeah. 2021 was a different story for a lot of us. Me and you, look, we both went full time in 2021. When
Yeah.
people are running in fear, we're going full time. It's
Well,
crazy.
real quick before we end on that note, right? Like, my wife would argue with me like you need to go apply for a job. Like
Yeah.
she wouldn't say it straightforward, but it was hinting. And I told her like, remember when I wasn't doing eBay and we got here to Vegas and I was applying to places,
Hmm.
like I was waiting around for people to call me back for an
Right.
interview.
Right.
And when I left my job, you know, I didn't need to wait for anybody because I was already making money. My
Exactly.
plan B, which was really my plan A, was like right there waiting for me. And I
Yeah.
was learning along the way. Like that's the bigger difference now that I'm a full-time reseller. I didn't have to wait on anybody. I'm the boss now.
Right. So, Michael, I don't know about everyone, but my packages are still, uh, 2021 isn't like 2020 Q4. My packages have still been pretty much arriving on
Mm.
time. I'm blessed to not have any issues with anything arriving on time yet. So Shay says she's gonna kick 2022 in the face. Let's do it. I feel
Ouch.
that, Shay.
She's vibing.
Yeah. And along with that too, like my girlfriend, she has a part-time job. She makes pretty good money. She works at Cracker Barrel of all places. It's not like it's an over hard job. She works 4 hours a day, but she hasn't touched none of her eBay money. And she's like, "Are you sure you want to go full time and do eBay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course. Like, why wouldn't I?" She's like, "Well, I just think you would get bored." And I'm like, "I definitely could never get bored of this. Like, when you can put this work in and see those rewards, and I just don't see it happening, and I don't regret it at all. And she's like, "Babe, you're killing it," like, "Yeah, thanks, babe," like this is what I was going for, you know what I mean? And she's killing it too, but like, I just couldn't see myself, especially doing food service anymore. Like, there was
Mm.
no point for me to give any more of my time to something I didn't want to do. Life's too short to be miserable doing a
It
job
is
you
too
don't want
short.
to do,
Yeah.
you know? Well, man, I appreciate your time, Sonny, man. It was really great getting to meet you,
Marcus.
like, officially, man. You got a friend in me, bro. Like, you need me, hit me up, man. Guys, if you're watching this replay, please go and subscribe to Sonny's channel. And hit him up on TikTok too. You guys are gonna learn a lot, and just not only that, you'll have some good quality content to follow, man. So I guess that's going to be it, guys. If you're catching this on the replay, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section if you guys have anybody you want me to get on the show, and I'll do my best to make that happen for you. But let me see what this says real quick. Per COVID, couldn't find a job afterwards. Can't go anywhere without anyone saying we're hiring, and that's facts.
No.
McDonald's is paying $13 an hour right now, like at least out here, So it's crazy, man. All right, guys, man. I really appreciate everyone showing up in the chat and spending some of your time with me, man. I hope everyone has
Thanks,
a good
Joe.
night. Take it easy, guys. Yeah, thanks, Joe. Take it easy, guys.